UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak welcomed US President Joe Biden to 10 Downing Street today. This marks Joe Biden's first visit to 10 Downing Street as president. Biden landed in London late on Sunday to kick off a three-nation trip. It includes a NATO summit in Lithuania aimed at showing solidarity with Ukraine against Russia's invasion, while not yet accepting Kiev as a member of the alliance. The president also held a low-key meeting with Rishi Sunak and reiterated that the two countries have a rock-solid relationship. President Biden's current stop is Windsor Castle, where he will be meeting King Charles. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau landed in Latvia for a meeting with the country's president. Trudeau stated that Canada would be deepening and strengthening its presence in Latvia. The remarks come before bilateral talks with the newly inaugurated Latvian president in Latvia's capital city. Currently, Canada is leading the NATO Enhanced Forward Presence Battle Group in Latvia. 800 members of the Canadian Armed Forces are stationed there. The visit leads up to Trudeau's attendance at the NATO summit. The NATO leadership is scheduled to meet next week to overcome divisions on Ukraine's push for a path. Also on the agenda are discussions surrounding an end to Turkey's block on Sweden's application. The 31-member defense alliance, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is expected to attend the summit, and NATO is expected to present a package of support to Ukraine during the summit, including an upgraded cooperation body known as the NATO-Ukraine Council and a bundle of non-lethal military aid to help Kiev's armed forces to reform and reach NATO standards. NATO has turned Vilnius into a fortress to protect US President Joe Biden during his visit to Lithuania. Advanced weaponry has been deployed to secure the city. President Biden is meeting other alliance leaders. This will be only 32 kilometers away from the Russian ally Belarus's border. At the Vilnius airport, 8 German-operated Patriot missile launchers were spotted pointing in the direction of Russia's Kaliningrad, and 2 more launchers were pointed towards Belarus. Russian President Vladimir Putin has met with the rebellious Wagner Group's chief, Yevgeny Prigozhin. The Kremlin's Dmitry Peskov confirmed to the media that the meeting between Putin and Prigozhin occurred on the 29th of June. The meeting was attended by 35 people, including the Russian unit commanders. The meeting followed Wagner's rebellion against the Russian Defense Command. The South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has stated that the BRICS summit, which the Russian President Vladimir Putin has been invited to attend next month, will be held in person despite an ICC arrest warrant against the Russian leader. According to Ramaphosa, and I'm quoting him, "We are going to have a physical BRICS summit, and all of us are committed to having a summit where we will be able to eyeball each other." South Africa is the current chair for BRICS, a group of heavyweights that also includes Brazil, Russia, India, and China. The BBC has suspended leading presenter who is alleged to have paid a teenager for sexually explicit photos as senior British politicians urged a rapid investigation. The UK's publicly funded national broadcaster was struggling to head off a worsening crisis after the Sun newspaper reported allegations that the male presenter gave a youth more than $45,000 in the year 2020 when the young person was 17 years old. Even though the age of consent in Britain is 16, it is a crime to make or possess indecent images of anyone who is under 18. The Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte confirmed that he would be leaving politics, Rutte's departure marking the end of his run as the longest-serving leader in Dutch history. The Dutch leader made his announcement 3 days after he abruptly handed in the resignation of his fourth coalition administration. He resigned on the grounds of failing to agree on stricter immigration policies. Rutte shall stay on as leader of a caretaker government until a new administration is formed after the November election.
Opende vergadering.
Solomon Islands Prime Minister Manasseh Sogavare met the Chinese Premier Li Qiang in Beijing on Monday. This is Prime Minister Sogavare's first visit to the country since striking a security deal with China. He arrived in the country yesterday and attended a welcoming ceremony at the Great Hall of People. Delegates from both sides held official talks and signed agreements on a week-long trip funded by Beijing. Sogavare will be opening the nation's embassy, meet Chinese companies and visit Jiangsu and Guangdong. Sogavare came to power in 2019, switching the nation's diplomatic ties from Taiwan to China. Argentina has inaugurated the first stage of a gas pipeline expected to quench the country's serious energy deficit. The pipeline will be carrying natural gas from Vaca Muerta, which is in the west, to Santa Fe province. The completion of the first stage of the gas pipeline will add 11 million cubic meters of gas per day. With the new pipeline, according to reports, the country expects to reach net zero in its energy balance in 2024 and achieve a surplus in 2025. Protesters in Tokyo staged demonstrations against Japan's decision to release Fukushima wastewater into the sea. Scores of protesters gathered outside the Prime Minister Fumio Kishida's office in Tokyo. The protests are also being accompanied by panic buying of salt. This is an after effect of fears that the Fukushima water will pollute the ocean and its salt. Some opposition lawmakers have gone on hunger strikes in protest against the decision. In the latest development, Go Airlines, also known as Go First, has initiated the process of inviting investor interest as part of its ongoing insolvency process. The airline filed for bankruptcy protection in May due to issues with Pratt & Whitney engines, grounding a significant portion of its fleet. The publication of a Form G related to the EOI invitation is the next step in advancing the insolvency process. However, the final resolution will depend on the rights of the lessors involved. In a positive turn for China's technology sector, shares of Alibaba Group and Tencent surged in Hong Kong following the $984 million fine imposed on the ANT Group, signaling a potential end to the regulatory crackdown. ANT Group, founded by Jack Ma, announced a share buyback that values the fintech at a 75% discount to its previous IPO plan, offering liquidity and certainty to its investors. This development comes after Beijing's clampdown on various industries, which led to uncertainty and significant share price drops. The Chinese authorities also fined Tencent's online payment platform Tenpay for violations. Deflation risks in China heightened in June amid weak demand as consumer prices remained flat and a factory gate price fall deepened. The consumer price index was unchanged from a year earlier, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. This was below the expected rise of 0.1% and is the lowest reading since February 2021. Beijing has set a CPI target of around 3% growth for 2023. Foreign direct investment data showed India's manufacturing sector has failed to capitalize on efforts by multinational companies to diversify supply chains away from China. India's manufacturing PMI did not contract in the past year, but against expectations, foreign direct investment inflows fell 22% to $46.03 billion in 2022 to 23 amid high inflation and recessionary trends in the West. US automotive icon Harley-Davidson, which last week began its second innings in India by launching its most affordable bike to date in partnership with Hero MotoCorp, might use the facilities in the countries to sell in other global markets. According to the company's CEO, the company's immediate priority is to strengthen local sales. With the HDX 440, the motorbike Harley-Davidson has co-created with the Indian company Hero. A rare snowfall dusted Johannesburg and other high-lying parts of South Africa. The South African weather services are warning of potential road closures and dangerously cold temperatures in the wake of snowfall. Residents in the business hub woke up to snowfalls likely covering rooftops and gardens. The snowfall is a consequence of a cold front that hit the country late last week. This cold front morphed into a weather system called a cut-off low, causing snowfall. Intense rain hit Japan's southern Fukuoka prefecture. At least one person was killed due to the rainfall as authorities urged tens of thousands of people to evacuate to safer areas. 3 people are missing after a landslide hit 2 homes in the neighboring Saga prefecture. Japan's land ministry confirmed the downpours have flooded at least 8 rivers. The rain also caused dozens of mudslides in the region. Meanwhile, torrential monsoon rainfall left large parts of northern India flooded on the 9th of July. In the Derabasi region on the border of the states of Punjab and Haryana, at least 80 people were rescued by the National Disaster Response Force after the Ghaggar River flooded. As many as 19 people have lost their lives in landslides or rain-linked incidents. A yellow alert has been issued in Delhi for the next 24 hours. An orange alert has been issued for Haryana.
Gulmore City Extension there.
Meta-owned WhatsApp is releasing a redesigned sticker for Apple users, allowing them to easily access stickers and avatars on the messaging application. As per reports, WhatsApp has relocated the buttons for accessing the stickers and the avatars. The users will soon see a new sticker tray above the keyboard in WhatsApp. The supposed tray will suggest the stickers related to the emoji entered in the chat bar. And not just that, WhatsApp has also made improvements in the categorization of the avatar packs. Right now, the feature is only available to select beta testers. It will be rolled out to more Apple users over the coming weeks. Lebanon has unveiled its first locally made solar electric car called Lira. This marks a breakthrough in the country's automobile industry. The car runs on solar energy during the day and recharges itself at night. In the absence of its solar capabilities, the car can be charged with electric batteries and does not require direct connection to the electric grid. Lebanon's Ministry of Economy and Trade has claimed that the car may assist the government in its aim to boost the economy, create jobs, and also attract investors. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.